Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea James, and today we will be diving into John Van Epp's book titled How to Avoid Falling in Love with a Jerk, the Foolproof Way to Follow Your Heart Without Losing Your Mind. In this informative book, the author offers several things to consider when choosing a partner to spend your life with. This particular presentation is not all inclusive because there was so much useful information. However, these are the highlights that I feel are essential to the building blocks to forming and maintaining meaningful and healthy relationships. So, relationship bonds include concepts such as trust, reliance, commitment, affection, emotion, love, needs, and intimacy. According to Van Epp, all of these fit into one of 5 universal human dynamics that work together and must balance out in order for a relationship to become and remain healthy and strong. These 5 dynamics are know each other, to trust each other, to be able to rely on each other, to commit to each other wholly, and to remain intimate with each other through affection, connection, and sex. If any of these are out of balance, then the relationship begins to suffer as a result. This is known as the relationship attachment model. You see on the screen that it looks sort of like an equalizer bar, and this model is exactly that. Um, each bar can be increased or decreased based upon time and experiences. When you're, like, for instance, when you're lied to, the trust bar is then lowered. If you have great physical connection, then the touch bar will, of course, be, at a higher level than everything. So consequently, when one of these dynamics are tampered with, it impacts the relationship as a whole and also causes the other levels to fluctuate as well. The key to a fulfilling relationship is to have all these bars all the way up, all on the same level. That is the best way to have a healthy relationship. The key to maintaining a healthy relationship is to have all these balanced out, even if they're not all the way at the top. Unhealthy relationships occur when one or more of these dynamics are way out of balance. So if one's way up and all the rest are kind of low, it's going to be unhealthy because you're going to be focusing so much on that heightened one that you're going to ignore or kind of excuse the lowered ones. So in order to fully know somebody, Van Epp makes this formula he calls the no quo, which is intimacy equals talk, togetherness, and time. With intimacy in relationships, talking is only part of the equation. Talking and disclosure is important, but without actions, the talk is meaningless. Some can say they love you, but if they treat you badly or don't show that love, do those words really mean anything? In the beginning, both of you are on your best behavior, trying to win the heart of the other, and it takes approximately 3 months for a person to show their true colors. Does this person say one thing and do another? Or does the actions match the talk? Only time will tell the true nature of a person, and you need to date long enough to see them in each season of life. Happy times, hard times, rough patches, sad times. Only when you see how they act in these times will you know what the relationship has in store. A person may be amazing when life is going good, but how do they act when negative life experiences occur? How do they get through them? Do they work towards a solution or healing, or do they shut down and withdraw or turn to negative coping skills like drinking? Do they take their emotions out on you? Only time and experience will tell you how a person will be when the newness wears off. So when it comes to communication, Van Epp uses an acronym OPEN to describe the 4 depths of open communication in any relationship. Um, The O stands for observation and facts, and it means just that. Questions that hold no real substance or depth. What is your name? How old are you? These questions provide information, but no depth. The next step in communication is perspectives and opinions. This is the stage where you learn about the other person or tell about your likes and dislikes. Political values, interests, and opinions about topics and situations are discussed here. I really love rock music, but I hate country music. This is where you can learn a bit about your potential partner's value systems and their life. This is also where you can key in on some potential red flags in someone. Are all of their exes crazy? How does this person talk about friends and family? This can give you insight into how they treat others. And if all their exes were crazy, why is that? This person is the common denominator, which we'll discuss in the next few slides. So the E stands for experiences and emotions. It is in this stage that you learn about their past experiences and the emotions around those experiences. From these discussions, you can pick up on unhealthy traumas, unhealthy behaviors that are normalized and that are not a big deal to them. For example, if a partner starts laughing when talking about how their father used to abuse their mother, or they brag about getting physically aggressive with an ex, but they deserved it. These are things to pick up on because they tell you how a person thinks. The needs and relationship responses, this is where it is expressed on what is expected out of a relationship. In this stage, the partner opens up about their needs and wants. Is communication lacking? How are feelings and disagreements taken care of? Does this person listen to you, or do they immediately shut down or jump on the defensive when there's a problem? What are they looking to gain from this relationship? What are the deal breakers? So what we are attracted to or what ignites that spark is not always healthy or positive. Van Epp calls this the chemistry warning. There are many women who are attracted to the so-called bad boy. And even though they always end up getting hurt in these relationships, sparks will fly with the next one that they encounter. And it'll be right back to the same situation, different person. So when chemistry may be strong in one area, it may severely lack in another. This is most evident with people who stay in toxic relationships way too long because the intimacy was great. The sex was phenomenal. It's that sexual chemistry that keeps pulling them back in. So when measuring chemistry, it is important to focus on all areas of the RAM model and to determine where the chemistry is lacking. Physical chemistry is usually the first to present and can blind us from all other areas. Remember that great chemistry prompts premature sexual involvement. So Van Epp stresses the importance of watching for patterns. He calls this observation. How do they treat others, waiters, waitresses? Do they treat them like they're beneath them, or do they treat them as equals? Do they have issues with authority? How do they treat their children? How is their relationship with their family? Do they have fits of rage, such as road rage? Do they lie to their friends and family? Do they have issues with committing? Where were they accused of being overly controlling in previous relationships? Have they cheated in the past? This tells you a lot about their values and what they hold important and how they think of certain people. So showing one of these signs or patterns does not always signal a toxic or unhealthy situation. However, if somebody is controlling in past relationships, it's likely that it's just a matter of time before they begin exhibiting those behaviors in your relationship. One of the most important takeaway from Van Epp's book that I got was to always let your conscience be your guide. Without a healthy conscience, skills become manipulative and self-serving. So things to observe and monitor in not only yourself but your partner are things like, do your attitudes and behaviors align with what you say and believe? What rights and wrongs do you feel strong about? How do you handle situations where you are wrong? How defensive do you become? What common defenses do you use? What causes you to feel guilty? Do you repeat those behaviors that bring feelings of guilt? Do you feel who do you feel accountable to? And how do you react to authority? Kind of being observant of these things can kind of tell you where they are kind of morally and consciously. People can have great relationship skills and not have any conscience behind it. Okay, think of a used car salesman. great relationship skills. But without a healthy conscience, they will use those great relationship skills um, to sell you a lemon and not think twice about it after they get their commission off of it. You know, in healthy relationships, it requires good skill and good conscience. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope that from this presentation, you have gained some insight into what is important when it comes to establishing and maintaining healthy relationships.